Welcome, adult international students, to my free video series entitled Confusing Words in English. What are confusing words in English? They are a pair of words that, because of a similar sound, similar spelling, or similar meaning, can cause a lot of confusion for an English language learner and also native speakers. For example, the words read and red. At first you think, well, red is a color. No, read is the present tense form and red is the past tense form of the same word. They are spelled exactly the same, R-E-A-D, but they obviously involve a different part of speech. So, for instance, would you like to read a book? No, I have already read a book today. I will read a magazine. Not and not. Two very similar sounding sounds, but they actually have a different meaning and are spelled just slightly differently. So for instance, if I say, that is not my bag. Okay, that shows you that that has a negative meaning. The word with a negative meaning is usually spelled N-O-T. But the other word that I am going to mention, you don't hear very often in English because it is usually used to talk about when you go sailing, or if you are just doing something with your shoes, but that is really about it. Not too often. So the other word not is spelled K-N-O-T. So if somebody tells you your shoe is untied, you better tie it in a better knot so that it doesn't come loose again and you don't trip over your shoelaces. So when we say knot, that means we are tying two separate pieces or the same piece together to create a very tight spot where the rope or the material cannot slip. It's usually used to secure something or usually to keep something from dangling or falling. And the last pair of words, T-O and T-O-O, with the same sound, two, also have different meanings. T-O is a preposition, and T-O-O means in excess or a lot of. So for the preposition T-O, you most commonly hear these prepositions: to the left, to the right, which means just a direction, or it can also be used to mean a destination. I'm going to the store to buy some ice cream. When you use T-O-O, it is commonly used when you have a lot of something, or it can even mean the opposite when you say you have too little of something. For example, my friend has too much courage, so I hope that when he tries to pole vault for the first time, he does not injure himself. So his friend is saying he has so much courage, a lot of it, that, in other words, he might be acting foolishly because maybe he does not have enough experience to do pole vaulting. He is trying it for the first time. You can also say, what did you think about the house that we saw yesterday? You may get an answer like, I thought that the house was too small. In this case, that means that the house is so small you cannot believe how little it is because you might have so many things that you cannot see how you will put them and live there in that particular house. Now today, this is the first episode of this series. So I chose the most difficult pair of words in the English language that give ESL students and native speaker students quite a bit of trouble. The sound of both these words is similar, but the spelling is also slightly different, and there's also a different meaning to them. And those two words are effect. There is A-F-F-E-C-T and E-F-F-E-C-T. Now, what I would like to do is I would like to take this opportunity to present the material on a Word document for you to see. So let's go ahead and do that. Here we have effect versus effect. First, let's talk about effect with an E. Effect is almost always used as a noun. It means result of a change. So what I've done here is I've created a sentence example with effect with an E as a noun. The new law on immigration will take effect next month. So how do we know that we have used it properly in the right part of speech? So the new law on immigration will take effect next month. That means because of the result of a change, there is a new law that's going to create a change, and it will take effect the following month. In other words, the new law is in place and legal and binding next month. Effect with an A is almost always used as a verb, and it means to influence or produce a change in something. So here's a sentence example for effect with a verb. Will doing your assignment after class affect your arrival time to the party? So if we look at the word here, basically you are being asked if, when you do your assignment, how will that influence or change your arrival time to the party? Will you be late, basically, is all they're asking. Now, in English, there are always exceptions to the rules. And an exception is a special circumstance when a rule can be changed. And that's usually, in this case, when you want to use a word as another part of speech, when it is usually a different part of speech. So in some cases, effect can become a verb, and effect with an A can become a noun. So let's look at an instance when effect can become a verb. When effect becomes a verb, it means to cause. So in this sentence example, it says, the student wanted to effect some chaos in the classroom. Well, that's just a very fancy way of saying there was a student being naughty or, was not behaving in the classroom. So, in other words, when you use to cause, in other words, the student was trying to cause a problem in the classroom or cause trouble in the classroom. Now, in the instance where effect with an A can be used as a noun, it means a psychological term to indicate a person's emotional state or behavior. So, for a sentence example for this, as a noun, the man took the news of his pet's death with a tremendous effect. So since this means it had a kind of an emotional state, a change, in it of some kind, that means, if your pet died and it had a tremendous effect on you, you can guess that the man was very, very sad or was crying because his pet died. So every week we are going to be covering at least one pair of confusing words in American English. So let's go ahead and finish this out. Now that we have gone over effect with an A and effect with an E, I wanted to let you know that every week we will be covering at least one pair of confusing words in American English so that you can help build your vocabulary and make it easier for you to understand the more difficult words in English. If you are interested in keeping track of when we will be putting out a pair of words, in English, please go to our website, which you will see at the end of this video, and you can subscribe to our mailing list, in which we will notify you when the video has been released, and you can go and see it on our YouTube channel, our blog, or on our Facebook page. And if you do like this video, please hit the like button. We would greatly appreciate it. Or if you think that you would like to see this video and other videos that we have produced, feel free to join our YouTube channel or our Facebook page as well. Well, that's it for this first edition. This is having a very positive effect on me today, and I hope to see you all next week. Goodbye now and have a great day. See you soon.